views a default 3D view? Well, so far we've set up our Revit drawing properly. We have started drawing some walls. We've got the basic walls laid out. We have some doors and windows in there properly. We also have a post in the right place. We need to take a little bit of time now and look at 3D views and look at different ways of looking at this model. Because in the end, it's not really just this that we're providing. I mean, if it's just a floor plan, then we're practically done. We dimension it, we can send it off. But really, we want to provide a little bit more. We want elevations, we want sections, we want interior elevations, exterior elevations, and we also would like to have an opportunity to render as well. So while we have done this work here, this is only the beginning of really what we're going to be doing, because ultimately we want to get something a little bit more like this to present to the client so they can really feel going back to their goal of being in a space that they like to be in. They really need to feel assured of that we've provided a service where they say, yes, I like the way things are laid out, and then there won't be very many surprises when this gets built. So let's take a quick look at the very first 3D view that you will ever use. This is the default 3D view. And you can just click on that little house, and it takes you to a view that looks something like this. Now, in this view, it's not a static view. This is live. Everything in Revit is live. So if I were to click on something, I could move it, I could delete it, I could add more. This is very similar to just being in a plan view, as I could do work in it. What about moving my view around? Like, what if I want to see the other side? Well, this view cube is quite a handy little thing here. What you can do is click on different pieces. You see how I'm clicking on different pieces of the cube, and then it's rotating my view around so I can see it from that angle. And then I could go into these elevation views. Notice I clicked on back. I can click on this arrow on the side. Now I'll just keep rotating my views around to whatever side of the box I'm looking on. You also have some orientation here as far as your direction, so I can drag this around if I want to look at it from the north, or I want to look at it and just get a feel for where is my direction. And these are things that we've set up initially in order to have the true north in a proper location. If ever you want to get back to your original view, you can just click on the little house, and that'll just take you back to what would be referred to as the home view. And then you can see your model in that original state in 3D. There's another command that I like to show, and that is more of a free rotating, and that's on the keyboard. If you hold down the Shift key and the middle mouse button, I'm just holding them both down at the same time. So I'm holding Shift on the keyboard, pressing down on the middle mouse button, and then I'm just rotating my view around. That's very similar to clicking and dragging on your cube and rotating it around, but it's a little smoother than that. If I shift and then middle click and just rotate that around, it's easy for me to just almost intuitively know where to move my mouse. Now let's look at a little scenario that sometimes you come across in the default 3D view. Perhaps I'm working on this window. So I click on the window. Now if I click off the window, maybe I want to look at the window from the inside. Well, as soon as I start to rotate around, you see how it goes out of my viewpoint? That's because the center or the pivot of my view is not on the window, it's somewhere else. So if I were to click on the window, and now I were to use the Shift middle click, notice how now that becomes the focal point of my 3D view. So it's just a matter of clicking on something, perhaps that door, I can click on it, and then I can rotate my view around.